listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. Jason, what do you mean a solar panel for humans?
This is kind of an exciting concept, and this show is just so exciting for me. It almost wrote itself because regeneration is unknown today, and it really, I can't. We're not allowed to jump up and down because it shakes the camera, that sort of thing. But it's very much like having a solar panel for humans. Yeah. It allows you to literally regenerate yourself now, and we're going to talk about what that means exactly.
Right.
But this is part of the alliance that we've created with Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, and we've been talking about this for a while. Mm-hmm. But these are non-physical entities that have come here to help the Earth evolve. Yes. And help us do that. But there's been a missing piece. And the reason they connected with us and were listening to us, in fact, when we first reached out, they said, "We've been waiting for you,"
which was
very special. And the reason they said that was because this missing piece is what's keeping human beings from regenerating and actually evolving. Yeah. And what we've been doing. And
by the way, that's the reason we're here on this planet, everyone.
Is to evolve. That's the prime.
That is exactly right.
Directive, if there's such a thing. So, so we're going to talk about that, and I created a way to do that. So
wait. Oh, what a surprise.
Okay.
All right. So, Jason, then let's talk about what is the battery metaphor.
So imagine you're born with a battery attached to you.
By the way, you can't see this battery. It's not like
it's a virtual battery.
Yes, there you go. Children are missing it these days. No, it's not what he's talking about.
We've been spending time with our grandkids lately, and I mean, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Oh my gosh, they're running around. The amount of energy that they have, physical energy.
Exactly.
But that's not what we're talking about here. It's not physical energy. It's life force.
Well, and I'm sorry, I need to say, in that physical energy, there is life force, but oftentimes people mistake go for life force.
Yes, it's not the same.
It's not the
We've seen a lot of people that have go that don't have their life force is depleting very quickly.
Yes, very much.
So so imagine you're born with a battery attached to you.
Okay.
It's not for electricity, but it provides you with life force energy. Mm-hmm. Now, life force is the difference literally between life and death.
Yes.
At the moment of death, you lose your life force. And you know, this sounds a little.
Wait, let's back this up. You lose your life force connection in the physical body that you had been living in.
So at the precise moment of death, your physical body has the same chemical makeup as it did when it was alive, but the difference is not in the chemistry. It's literally in the life force and life force leaving your body. Okay. We had an experience with that just recently because we were taking care of my mother who passed literally in this house.
Yes.
And it was very clear to us in a second that she was gone because the life force was gone. And that's literally what it is. But when a baby is born, that life force is at its peak typically. Now, astrologers, and I want to make this distinction. Astrologers talk about life force, but it's not quite the same. A lot of times, this is an indication of your gusto for life.
Yes.
how you apply this gusto in the world,
Hmm.
but it's not quite the same as a life force that we're talking about. The other thing is that well-being activities and healthy diet and exercise slow this depletion of this battery. So all during your life, you have this battery, and little by little, it starts to get depleted.
Correct.
And till at the time of death, it is dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, wouldn't it be nice to have a battery to regenerate it? We get confused.
Meaning while you still have life force in you.
Yes. And we
Yes.
get confused because we confuse well-being activities, exercise, good diet, going to the spa, as regeneration, but it's not.
No.
It just slows the depletion, and the depletion still happens.
Yeah.
So if you're fitness, I don't want to say nut. I don't think it's nutty to be
A fitness nut. Yeah.
focused on fitness. Okay,
Yes,
but
exactly.
but that may slow the depletion,
Right.
but the life force is still being depleted, and it often happens in other areas, not your physical way.
So,
So,
okay, so Jason, what is the difference between maintenance and regeneration?
so good maintenance or effective maintenance
Yes.
is not restorative. We can feel better. Great
Yes.
maintenance can significantly reduce the depletion, but it still continues. So if you are maintaining yourself really well with exercise, good diet, and other
And even
things,
good attitude.
yes,
Yes.
yeah, well, and people program their attitudes as
That
opposed to really
that
have a
is
good
correct.
attitude. We'll talk
Yes.
about that later.
Yes.
But um, um, great maintenance doesn't slow, it slows the depletion, but it doesn't stop it.
Right.
And what we're talking about is regeneration that heals and restores the soul. And because we're intuitives, this is the reason that Abraham, Seth, and Bashar came to us. They can see that we can see in this physical plane,
Correct.
and we see the essence, which is the core of human beings,
Yes.
and how unhealthy your essence is. So when you're doing an amazing workout, you're eating really healthy food,
Mhm.
we can see that you can still have a soul, or we call essence. We don't use the word soul, call it essence, that is unhealthy
Yes.
and is covered in negative energy. And that's what prevents us from regenerating on our own, because human beings were designed, and we know that.
This
Okay,
is really important.
this is really important, that we're designed to regenerate, to
Yes.
have our own little solar panel that's
Yes.
up there all the time that
Yes.
just says, okay,
Right.
let's increase the life force energy. But the problem is it's been blocked by this negative energy.
Mhm.
And that's one of the primary reasons they came to us, is because we see it.
Yes.
You know, while we've been doing this work for the last 25 years, we've heard so many people come out and say, yeah, negative energy is gone from the earth. And we think, oh my gosh, can't they see?
And they can't. That's
They
part of
can't.
the problem. But they can't see. Let me just, because there's so much negative energy in front of them or on them and even in them, that it's a form of that they've learned to look around it or ignore it or believe
Yes.
that it doesn't exist.
Normalize it.
Normal, there, that's the word I was looking for. And it's not true.
Heal,
Not true at all.
Healing and actually improving yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically as you age is possible using this human solar panel that we all have,
Yes.
but has been disconnected or
Yes.
not used. And regeneration, this type of regeneration is truly unknown.
Yes.
So this is so important.
Well, and I want to say this. When all of us have negative energies on us, in us, and around us, and when you start using the ecosystem approach and removing those things, there's first up, there becomes a lightness about not only your physical body, and I'm talking about you actually feel lighter, but you see things from a different perspective in a more, as I call it, a 360 perspective. So you can walk around and see, oh, there's negative energy there, negative energy there, starting with yourself. Oftentimes people will start with others. Oh, I see that negative energy in you and you, that kind of thing. What I'm getting at is that starting to remove this negative energy changes everything and your perspective about everything, not in a bad way, but in a good way and in a more aware way. And that aware way of
We really
seeing
don't have that
something.
today. Yes.
Most people, in fact, I know very, very, very few people who actually have it. I happen to be sitting next to someone who does. And I have to tell you, that in itself is amazing.
We're going to talk some more about this.
Yes, we are. Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
Human regeneration is now possible by applying the ecosystem approach. Imagine your own personal solar panel that regenerates your personal life force battery. True regeneration, however, is now possible so that human beings can improve emotionally, mentally, and physically until the day they die. Literally. Oh my gosh. We don't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Don't confuse normal maintenance and well-being activities with real regeneration, because a great diet and exercise can slow depletion, but is not the same as regeneration.
That's right.
Isn't it time for you to have your own human solar panel?
Or being able to recognize it
And regenerate it.
and
Yeah.
and use it to regenerate yourself. In the next segment, we're going to talk about a structure for human regeneration, or creating a solar panel for humans. Yes. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about a structure for human regeneration, or creating a solar panel for humans. By the way, this just, I'm amazed at how you've used this as an amazing visual for people to understand, Jason. I think it's wonderful.
We're actually getting solar for our house.
Yes,
so
we are.
I've been thinking about solar panels, and it just makes perfect sense. It's such a nice, it just makes so much sense
it
that
does.
something that's natural that comes to us. We have a lot of sun here where we live, and
It's wonderful.
it just makes sense.
Yes.
So, but we see,
Well, and Jason, what exactly do you mean solar panels for humans?
we see that human beings have a natural solar panel that's designed to constantly regenerate the essence,
Yes.
or soul, if you will. Without the blockages, we would naturally regenerate while being in nature and activating it for ourselves.
Yes.
Here's the problem, and this is why they came to us. And it's so unknown in the world today. We may acknowledge the shadow side, dark energy, but we don't really see it. And
Or the truth of it.
no. And for example, we see that dark energy is always on both sides of an argument. We see that dark energy, the way that dark energy works, is not how people would expect it to be. We think in terms of good and bad.
Yeah.
Dark energy loves that because it's always on both sides.
Yes, I like that.
So there's no good side or bad side, that it's
Right.
always on both sides.
Right.
The reason they have been waiting for us because of our understanding of our real depth of understanding of how negative energy works, how dark energy works, and how to remove it,
Yeah.
which is not as simple as is not a mechanical process. We think, okay, now that we see it, we can remove it. Well, dark energy, and this is the other thing that's really unknown,
Okay.
has a motive.
Ooh.
It doesn't want to. When we want to remove that dark energy, it doesn't want to go.
Well, and because we've been so programmed that dark negative energy is acceptable, we've learned to use it,
Or work around it, or normalize it, or whatever.
Exactly. And that is not, when that goes away, there's a whole nother awareness and even perspective that in its way is unknown. So when you're trying to make a decision about something, this is just an example, you don't have all the pieces if that negative energy is standing in your way.
So the reason they came to us, and this is the big takeaway, is that the results show to them. Our evolution,
Yes.
they can see it. Now, we go out in the world and people like us. People are drawn to us. People want to spend
Yes.
more time with us, but they have no idea why.
Right.
They
Right.
just, they just are drawn to us unconsciously. And we
Yes.
want to make this more conscious. That's why we created the ecosystem approach, which is a natural way
Correct.
to bring us to restore our essence the way it was intended.
Exactly. So, Jason, why doesn't the panel work now, the one that you're talking about? Because we all have it.
And it's, to be very precise, it's not that it doesn't work at all, but it's blocked.
Yes.
We've done shows about this, but we've seen that most people come in with 80% of their essence is blocked with negative energy.
Yes.
And that's a lot. That's a lot. People don't understand how much that is. That's a lot.
Yes.
And and sometimes during a lifetime, it can increase from there. So it can go
Oh,
up.
absolutely.
And, we rarely see that it really goes down. And the
Not
people,
unless people are using the ecosystem approach.
and we see that and the problem is the world is set up, which has a lot of dark energy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the things that validate you, the things that say, "Oh yeah, way to go, you
Okay.
did good,"
Okay.
have a huge dark component. So you can be evolving, and no one's going to come up to you and say, "Oh my gosh, I see the progress you've made."
Right.
That makes it really tough. And for us, that's why we're so crazy. We've been doing this for 25 years. We know it's happening,
Yes.
but that knowing doesn't come from the outside. It comes from internally.
Exactly.
We know at the level of our essence that this is working,
Yes.
but we haven't really gotten any sort of validation outside of ourselves that says, "Hey, yeah, we see who you are, and
Correct.
we're gonna come and
I've
rescue."
not received any certificate saying
Yes,
good job.
exactly.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So, this negative energy is it's not restorative, correct?
Well, it blocks us from being our energy from restoring,
Okay.
regenerating,
Yeah.
and what happens is that it moves around. So we may be doing well over here. We misconceive that people who have achievement have less negative energy, and that's not true. That's how we first saw this, really,
Yeah.
because we started looking at people that have been very, very successful, and they haven't removed their negative energy. They just learned how to use what's left over
Correct.
in a better way.
Yes. And I like to think of it, if they didn't have all that other 80%, what other things or how much better could something
Oh
have
my
been?
gosh. Yes.
That they discovered or became enlightened about, or I mean that sort of thing.
We're constantly
That's
being
helped the world.
we're constantly being surprised about how that can happen,
Yeah.
or what happens,
Yes.
even from us. We're removing and said, "Oh my gosh, that happens. Oh my gosh, that happens."
Yes.
It's really kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And the problem is that the subtle energy, the vast majority of people are unable to perceive it, and then those that can perceive it don't don't have enough dark energy still present in their essence
Okay.
so that they don't see all of it.
Yeah.
They don't see how it works. They don't see how it's working in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and for that reason, we don't see when we're being depleted or drained of our life force.
Okay. So, Jason, know your tools. What is exactly does that mean?
We have a whole collection of tools that can help you, and it's not us really. We don't own them. Okay,
Yes.
they're actually out in the world and they're free. The best tools and circumstances that work for me may not work for Patricia, may not work for you,
Okay.
but there's a whole rainbow of tools that you have at your disposal.
Mhm.
That's part of what we teach using the ecosystem approach. But and if if a person was able to be born without any sort of negative energy, they would know these tools already. They would,
Yes, they
you
would.
know, they would be present and they would just use them because of course we do, you know.
Yeah.
Um, the natural world, for example, is designed to feed us with life force.
Yeah.
So when we go out in nature, there's life there, but it doesn't have to be. We live outside of Yosemite, and it doesn't have to be that grandiose. It could be as simple as a plant on your desk
Well,
that's alive.
yeah, it can be. But I want to say this. The key to all of this is your intuition.
Yes,
And
yes.
when you don't have, when you're not using your intuition or you don't know how to use your intuition, it's because it's blocked.
It's the same blockage that we're talking about that's keeping us from regenerating.
That is exactly right.
So as we start to remove negative energy, your intuition starts to really explode.
Exactly.
It doesn't say, "Hey, look at this." It's not as specific as that.
Correct.
And it's a different way of viewing the world, and that's why a lot of people who are
Well,
naturally intuitive,
yes, and there are many.
they miss their own intuition
Yes.
because in this world today, we're trained to be goal oriented. We're trained to see, oh, what's our goal? You know, how do we do this?
Exactly. Well, I want to put out one more thing
Yeah.
that when you're blocked, that this negative energy, this dark energy blocks you from life force. And when you don't have life force, that's when things like, as we talked about in the very beginning, life force, when you don't have it or you don't have enough, that's when disease and negative energy,
Bad relationships,
there you go. Thank you, Jason.
divorces, bad money problems,
Exactly. That's when those things are,
depression. Yes.
no, that's a really good one, are biting you. And you don't even know it. You just think, oh, well, this is normal and natural. Well, I'm here to say, no, it's not.
One of the big discoveries that we've made is how to use the planetary energies, actually use them to activate you to support this removal of this negative energy.
Yes.
And we did a whole series of shows about that.
Yes. Yes. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
Human beings possess a natural solar panel designed to regenerate essence using life force, which is currently blocked by negative energy in essence. Yeah. We don't regenerate ourselves naturally because we are not taught to perceive subtle energy, so we don't know when we're being depleted. Mm-hmm. As we remove the dark energy attached to ourselves, we gradually restore our ability to regenerate using our natural solar panel. Dark energy is very difficult to remove, and we have lots of misconceptions about how we can deplete ourselves in the world. The ecosystem approach is designed to restore humans to their natural state, where we are constantly taking in life force as if we have our own solar panel.
I love that. In the next segment, we're going to talk about regeneration, aging. Let me say that again, mm-hmm. Aging, and what it means to have your own personal solar panel. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about regeneration, aging, and what it means to have your own personal solar panel. Okay, Jason, bring this one on. Okay, I know everybody wants to hear this. So let me ask, what is it like living your life with a solar panel?
So, and well, obviously we're talking metaphorically, but
yes,
this is what we're doing. We do it every day. As you go through life, whenever you encounter a situation or circumstance that's depleting,
yes,
remove the negative energy.
And by the way, we do this often all day long. All
day long. So when we go out in the world and there's something negative, that's something depleting. Sometimes there's people that are depleting.
Yes.
We just get back to a time when we're by ourselves and we remove it. Sometimes we can do it in the moment.
Yes, we
You
can.
can literally clear when you're talking to someone.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but the process is slow and subtle. And
Yes.
but as you go forward, you start to crave situations that allow or promote good energy. You can see the situations that promote bad energy,
Right.
and you don't see the situations, or you see the situations that deplete you,
There you go.
and then you kind of gravitate toward the situations that don't.
Well, and then there's always the situation you've got to go through it. That's, and I'm talking about of negative energy. You've got to go through it. There is a part where there's no choice. Well, a really good example is going to the DMV. Did I say that out loud? That kind of thing.
I don't know anybody that says that's
That is, yeah,
regenerating. Yes.
yeah. That was my entire point. So what I'm getting at is that, but when you come out of the DMV, if you just take off all that negative energy that you just got thrown at you, or picked up on, or had to walk through, and it's still yucky, you just pick it up, take a breath, and drop it in the processor.
And even though you might not be able to see it precisely right now,
Exactly.
you can make educated guesses and say, okay, I was there. I don't feel good right now. I'm just gonna call out the negative energy that's attached to me right now. Put the
Exactly.
DMV,
Well,
you know.
and then what happens? I just need to say this. When you start doing things like that, then you start to see more, and
Yes.
and it becomes clearer. And yes, there are times where you become overwhelmed. I admit, all of us do. But if you leave it on there, you're going to be even more overwhelmed. But when you start to remove it and you get to walk away, and by the way, pick it up and put it in that processor, everyone. Don't leave that negative energy laying around. It's not fair to you, and it's not fair to anyone else.
The important point here is that your life changes in ways that are impossible to understand and know as you're listening right now.
Yeah,
But because you've never experienced it before,
exactly.
and we're constantly in that situation where we experience more and more,
Yes.
and it's amazing.
Yes. So, Jason, what is it? What is it like? Well, we were just talking about it. What's it like living your life with the solar panel? Or how about regeneration over a lifetime?
If people were able to start the regenerative process as a child, they would be healthier physically and mentally.
Mhm.
Their health would improve as they age, which is the reverse of what it is now.
Exactly.
And as people regenerate, it's soul satisfying. You begin to know your authentic self, which that's such a cliche, but it's often invisible.
Hmm.
And you're able to heal yourself by yourself, both mentally and physically.
Yes.
You can be your own, I don't want to say therapist, but you can if you see the negative energy attached to you, start removing it.
Yes.
And you get better
Yes.
physically. If you have a physical ailment, you can
Hmm.
see the negative energy attached to it, start removing it.
Yes.
You get better.
Yes.
Um,
And by the way, some of the things that get attached to what we're talking about here is things like anger and hate and fear and resentment. Those are the things that you start to see that I don't need this energy. I'm not carrying it around. It's too much of a burden, and you throw it away in the processor.
you would be able to collaborate and partner with others in ways that are uncommon and truly satisfying. Here's the most important point.
Okay, I was just going to ask you.
Your trajectory for your whole life would shift dramatically. So you may be going in this direction, and then all of a sudden, as you start to remove this negative energy, you're going just a little bit over to this direction. But if you extend that, I don't want to be nerdy here, but as you extend that point over a lifetime, it's quite a big shift.
Well, this is not about being conceited, but I've always known that I had some pretty good gifts regarding like my intuition and that sort of thing. But the beginning part of my life, I was basically told you have to be ashamed about it, don't tell anybody about it, things like that. And then when I met Jason, he basically said, "What are you kidding? Let's remove this and let's see what happens. Are you game for it?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, and things just, the lightness that I felt, there's a happiness about removing negative energy and being able to do this in a way that I didn't have to ask anybody for permission or for their acceptance for me to do this.
While we've been doing this, and this is nothing against any therapist out there, but we would never think to go to therapy.
No, not now.
It wouldn't make sense to us. It
No.
just, why would you do that when you'd have to tell the therapist what your story is and then show them how to clear when you just would do it yourself? It just doesn't make
Well
doesn't make
done.
sense.
Well
Or physically, we still get help with that.
Sure.
But our outcomes are really good. We don't need as much help, and we do most of it ourselves. As things come up,
Exactly.
we take care of them, and because we're older and we didn't start as a child. We started in our 50s.
Right. I'd love to say speak for yourself, dear, but I can't.
we have all this stuff that's still coming up that we haven't taken care of that comes back
Exactly.
from 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And as they do, we just take care of them as they show up. And it's that simple.
So the question is it true regeneration can change the world, Jason?
This is why we do this. This is our purpose, the ecosystem approach where we created this.
Yes.
We see that the world could be so much better, and the problems in the world today are because of this negative energy. And it's the negative energy is invisible. And like I said, it's on both sides.
Yes,
it has a motive.
Yes.
It doesn't want to leave. So just to identify it and say, hey, it's there,
Yes.
is not enough.
Yes.
And here's the most important part, and we're going to talk about this over and over again, but regeneration is not done to you. So in other words, don't plan on making a trek to come and see Jason and Patricia. Plant yourself in front of us and say, okay, regenerate me.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. It's a very personal process. You do it to yourself.
Yes.
It's
And you do it for yourself.
Because part of the process is learning about subtle energies and the negative energy and how the negative energy that's attached to you works.
Exactly.
How it's motivated, what things you can do to get rid of it. And sometimes that's trial and error.
Well, and the big question is, what is the motive? When we talk about what is the motive, what is that? Something's happening to you. Okay, here's a really good, this is like extreme, but I'm going to use it. You just got the test back and you have cancer of some kind. That's negative energy to the max, my opinion, but that is real negative energy, and it's showing up on a test. And if you stop and take a moment, what is the motive of that cancer? What is that all about?
How is it going to stop you? How is it going to stop you from your purpose?
And how is it exactly? That was where I was going.
Maybe you don't even know what your purpose is.
It doesn't matter.
And
maybe this is the time to ask you, why is it stopping me from my purpose, even though I don't know what it is? And is my purpose to die? Or is my purpose to have some understanding and insight about who I am that I can leave to my children, the people I work with, the lady down in 2A, things like that.
And it's not one size fits all, because it has very much to do with you personally.
Absolutely.
So let's just talk about some of the things that would happen if regeneration started to happen in the world.
Okay.
With a critical mass of people.
Okay, I like that.
It would promote physical and mental healing. There is so much mental health issues, physical issues that are in the world. She was just talking about cancer.
Yes.
The world would really start to evolve. Cooperation among people and groups would happen in ways that are currently impossible and uncommon.
Yes.
When you have a movement that's really positive, but it stalls out, people start to fight among themselves.
Mm-hmm.
People start to argue with each other.
Yes.
So instead of going forward, they're arguing with each other. It's not happening.
And then more negative energy comes in, and
the dark is saying, we won.
Exactly.
This is exactly what we wanted to do. So
no, that's not what we need, because we don't need to lose the earth. physically, the physical earth to negative energy.
The frame of science, and this is one of my favorites, okay,
Okay.
would change and subtle energy intuition would be seen and accepted. One of the things, and we're going to talk about this, one of the things that has come from the Alliance is how we can change the astrology and make it far more useful than it is today.
Yes,
And
and
we're going to be talking about that coming forward. But we can see astrologers in companies, astrologers in governments, astrologers
exactly.
in for medical purposes.
And by the way, it was intended to be there to help.
Yes.
So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
Regeneration has the potential to transform you and change the trajectory of your life. Don't ignore this information. It's
Yes.
time for you to wake up to your purpose that may have been buried deep inside you. This process of regeneration can satisfy you in the depths of your being. Don't ignore it. We're so excited about this process, but we know it's not to be done to you. It demands that you go on this incredible internal journey by yourself. Oh my gosh. The ecosystem approach was created for regeneration for you to have real power in the world.
Yes.
Are you ready to have your personal solar panel?
I think it's amazing, everyone. In the next segment, we're going to start to show you how to change your energy so you can take the first step by removing some of the negative energy attached to you and then realize you do have a solar panel. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us, everyone. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to start to show you how to change your energy. Whoa. So you can take the first step by removing some dark energy attached to you. First, Jason, we need to teach everyone how to do the clearing. Yes, I know many of you already know how to do that. Just kind of go along with it. And but those who have never joined us before, they need to know.
And people get this is such a simple process.
Yes.
It seems too simple, so they discount it, but it's very powerful. And
Very.
we use basically the same process for the last 10 to 15 years. It works so well.
Yes.
People want to use their own process. They want to put their own spin on it. And especially in the beginning, I suggest you don't do that.
Right.
Just because we know this works. We know
Yes.
this works for a lot of different people.
Yes, I agree.
And basically, it's a really simple process, and that's what's confusing about it. But you use your imagination, your mind's eye, and simple breathing technique. It's not a technique really. It's just exhale, and you can be standing, sitting, laying down, walking. We often do two things at once. We're often doing something else while we're clearing. Whether it's we go for a walk in the morning with the dogs.
Yes.
We clear when we
And maybe I should say, we even clear the dogs.
yeah, we do.
Yes.
So
Dogs pick up negative energy too.
in the morning, we've started this little ritual where we go out in our backyard, and there's this little oasis of that Patricia created that's green. Most things here in California at this time of year are brown.
Yeah.
Everything's turned brown because there's no rain during the summertime. But
In most places.
we have this little oasis, and we sit there and during sunrise, and
And
it's quiet, and we clear together, and
the energy in it is just amazing.
we see the sun coming up through the
But-
trees, and
For those of you who live in apartments or in
there are always
houses,
ways. Yeah.
there are always ways. And take your coffee at this early in the morning and sit out and watch the sunrise.
Here's
It is amazing.
this is probably one of the most important points. Okay. I've seen so many people here on YouTube and elsewhere say, "Oh, you should do this. This is healthy for you to do this. You should do this." What happens is you start to do this ecosystem approach.
Right.
The shoulds go away, and what happens is there's a craving. Oh, the first time we sat down out there, and we put our feet on the ground, and we put our feet on these rocks
Yeah.
for grounding, if you've heard of grounding before, and it just feels so good.
It feels right.
And we have to do it. We just enjoy it so much.
Yes.
And we're with each other, and it's quiet, and the sun's coming up. There's nothing nicer.
So
And
Jason, let's tell everyone how to do the clearing.
okay, so you can be standing, any posture is necessary. You don't have to be in a reverent position. This isn't like praying to a deity. It's about changing the energy. So if you understand that, and we'll say the words, and the words are all printed out for you. By the way, if you want those words and a picture of the processor, go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section.
Correct.
It's all there. We'll send you a newsletter every other week, so to speak, and the picture of the processor is there. The words are all written out, and the clearings are all there. So,
Yes.
we just say to eliminate, and when that happens, take the veils and illusions or barriers or the specific emotion, whatever it is, and in your mind's eye and your imagination, just gather it up and blow it out into the processor. And that's going to put a picture of the processor up.
Yes,
It
thank
goes
you,
in the
Matt.
top, it gets processed, comes out neutral.
Right, which by the way helps you and your world around you.
Sounds easy. It is easy.
is,
It's almost too easy, but it's the beauty of it.
Right.
Is real stuff is typically pretty easy.
Exactly. Then we're going to activate life force after we do some clearings. And when activating life force is the most powerful energy we have access to. And when you put it into places where negative energy once was, it is awesome. There's power in it. And we'll talk you through that one when we get there. So, Jason, are you ready to get going?
Here we go.
All right.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that all the things in my life could be better if or be healing if I was able to restore myself. Take a breath, take those veils and illusions, blow them into the processor.
Right.
And the most important part of this is that if you're thinking, oh, I've got to have this, this is for me,
Right.
go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section. But more importantly, go to our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason Patricia Rohn, and subscribe to our channel. We're going to be talking about how this is unfolding, this alliance and all these new things that are coming up, unfolding, and you're going to get it there.
So, to continue on, I'm going to shorten it up just a little bit and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see with greater clarity going forward the true difference between maintenance and regeneration in my life. Nice and easy. Take a breath. Veils and illusions, get rid of them. You don't need them. Throw them away. I should mention, I see, not everyone, it has to be this way, but I see that negative energy moves easier from right to left. And that's why you see me throwing it over my left shoulder. I don't want to throw it on Jason here. That's not very nice. So with that said, Jason, continuing on.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see all the ways regeneration can help me with my health, my relationships, my money, and to truly know myself and pursue my purpose in life.
Yes, nice and easy. Pick up those veils and illusions that are keeping you from regenerating. Throw them away. And to eliminate the barriers so I can start removing the negative energies. I love that. Of the issues that are currently in my life. Those negative energies and those issues, you don't need them. You can think of it as like blowing it off your shoulder, but that doesn't put it in the processor. Put that negative energy in the processor. It is so very, very, very important, not only to you, but to your life around you. Pick it up and throw it away. Jason?
And to eliminate the blocks to any barriers that keep me from embracing regeneration in my life right now, no matter what my age or what stage of life I'm in.
Yes. Take a breath, lift up those blocks to any barriers that are keeping you from embracing regeneration. And remember how you do that. is by using the ecosystem approach. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to activate life force. I pull in life force through the top of my head and bring it all the way through my body to the tips of my toes. Some people struggle with the top of their head. Use your heart. It's okay. Find the place in your body where that very positive energy can be easily for you. It goes like this. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can use life force, and I can trust that life force will always be help right now, and it's right at my fingertips by regenerating myself and creating my personal solar panel using the ecosystem approach. Pull it in through the top of your head, all the way to the tips of your toes, or through your heart. Let it go all the way down to the tips of your toes. Ask it to turn around and come back up and remove any negative energy left over. Now throw it away.
We created the ecosystem approach because we saw that the way humans were being trained and helped in terms of the self-help stuff and all that stuff. It wasn't helping you to be more natural or to be more organic with your essence
and in sync with who you are.
It was designed to make you be like a machine, to literally be goal-oriented, and that's all there is. And that is so toxic for human beings, and it's really creates a problem. So we created the ecosystem approach for that reason. And that doesn't mean that if you have a corporate job, you have to quit or any of that. But what happens is as you start to remove the negative energy, you're able to engage with that in a better way that works for you personally.
Exactly.
And so if this sounds like it's exactly what you've wanted, go to our YouTube channel. That's where we've got so much content there. This is our 359th show. That we're doing more and more shorts, so you can get little bits and pieces. So once you subscribe, you can get those shorts that they come through your feed, and it just reiterates some of these important points, and it's so positive for you going forward, and you'll get a lot of this content. And again, our YouTube channel is Jason and Patricia Rohn, the Ecosystem Approach Show. And make sure you subscribe. That subscription is really important for you. And the reason is because you get all this content. There are a lot of things that you can subscribe to, and a lot of things that we've subscribed to, that we get all the time. But this stuff, when you subscribe to it, it comes up over and over again and nudges you, because negative energy doesn't want you to do the ecosystem approach. I guarantee you, negative energy wants you to just forget about it and just focus on something else that will promote the negative energy in the world.
Okay, so we'll be back in 2 weeks at 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern time, or go find us one more time, Jason.
On our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia Rohn.
That's exactly right. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to The Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Living like an ecosystem is the key to a better life for you.
Please join us.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.